Hello, friends, and welcome back to the second episode of this bathroom installation. So now we are in the garage and we laid the floor tiles. We try to obviously match the vents, so we want them to continue from one tile to the other. This is where we need to spend some time and make sure we come up with the best pattern that we can. I will not recommend obviously laying these tiles as they're coming from the box, because obviously they're not gonna look very good. The whole plan, the whole idea with these tiles that are obviously looks like marble is to kind of match the vents and try to do the best way possible. It's also very important not to place two tiles that are exactly the same one next to each other. Now we're going to show you what tools we're going to use. So we're going to use this manual cutter from Montolit. Is 310 millimeters cutter. So the tiles are 1200 by 600. We have used these tiles before. We was using a grinder or a wet cutter. We have a wet cutter that cuts up to 1250, but we find it very inconvenient. So I always wanted to invest in a tile cutter that cut a bigger tile, and now you can see how good this cutter is. So we cut that piece in half, and then whatever was left we're just gonna cut it in half. They roughly are about 1.5–2 centimeters, these small pieces. So this will obviously speed up the things a lot. In this bathroom we're gonna start with the floor tiles first, and then after we finish installing the floor tiles we are going to install the tiles on the walls. They are the same tiles, so we are using the same tiles. We're just gonna install them on the floor and on the walls. So this being big tiles and also being a wet room shower, we are going to put adhesive on the back of the tile. So we're going to back butter the tile with the flat side of the notched trowel. I know I said that before. We are always back butter our tiles, especially when you have a shower or a wet room area. Is very recommended that you're gonna put tile adhesive on the back of the tile. So basically we are trying to achieve 95% of coverage on the back of the tile. So saying that about obviously back butter your tile, no one actually saying that this is a must. So basically no one's saying that you must back butter your tiles, but what they're saying is you need to have minimum 95% of coverage of adhesive behind the tile. So I don't see how you're gonna have that coverage without back butter your tile, especially if it's a big tile like that. Obviously we've been doing this for many years now, and I couldn't find a way of getting that percentage of coverage without back butter your tile. So I wanted to say that because there's always people like arguing that if you should or if you should not back butter your tile, and I did check the regulations and there's not something that they will say you must. So basically what they're saying is you need to accomplish 95% of coverage. Obviously, like I said, it will be very difficult without back butter your tiles. Okay, so here you can see some progress in the floor tiles. We are planning to have all the floor done today, because obviously we want to have this dry and start with the wall tiles tomorrow. Now we are not using a rapid set like I did said before, but I'll repeat this. We like to use slow set adhesive because it does give you more room to obviously play with the tiles. Now you can see how well we managed to match these tiles, the veins. You can see here as well. I said that before, please take your time, 30 minutes, an hour, 2 hours, whatever is necessary to do this, because these tiles are obviously not very cheap. and I think you need to kind of like think the design before you actually start laying them. You can see that we have masking tape of them, so after we obviously finished the laying out in the garage, we kind of like um, number them so we know which one goes where. The client has changed her mind in the time, so this wall that you see my colleague filling, it won't get tiled till to the ceiling. You're only gonna get a tile across on the bottom. So basically we'll have a tile that will be in the line with the granite and the mirror, and the rest will be wallpapered. So now we're just gonna use the laser level and kind of set our lines so we know where the first tile will start all around. um, After this obviously we'll do the same thing. We'll take a couple of more tiles, try to match them, try to do the best pattern we can, number them, and then obviously cut them and install them. So we'll try kind of like we'll try to continue the tiles all around the walls. So we measure up the walls. Let's say we have 3 meters or 2 meters, and we'll lay the tiles, and then if we cut a piece from one tile, we're just going to use it on the other wall, as long as that's obviously is not a small and silly cut. Because obviously this is a room, is a carpet, we can't use a wet saw in here, and we don't want to use a grinder in here. So we are going to cut downstairs in the garage or outside of the garage. This is being the second floor, is gonna be obviously I'll probably have to obviously mark and cut downstairs, bring them up, and my colleague will just go install the tiles on the wall. So in this case we have to obviously make sure that we do our best to mark the tiles and cut the tiles, because we don't want to go up and down on the stairs too many times. So we want to come with a tile that is cut, and we want that tile to fit. We don't want to come back down and trim the tile, or also we don't want to cut the tile too short and then find out that we can't use the tile, and then we have to try to find the same tile with the same specific pattern. I realized that this might not be the best video of how to obviously tile a bathroom, because this is not the easiest bathroom that you can get. Plus it's quite tight, and it was very difficult to film, was very difficult to obviously catch everything that we did. But we haven't done a lot of bathrooms in the last few months since I obviously started the channel, and I wanted to put this on the channel so you can see how we're dealing with the bathroom. As soon as we'll have like easier bathroom, let's say, we are going to try to obviously film that from start to finish, and we'll try to give you obviously more informations about that job. So obviously this will be a good video for a higher end bathroom or for a more complicated bathroom. So ideally you will want to have this video after the one that is obviously a simple bathroom. Unfortunately we have to do it the other way around, because I don't know when we're gonna have the next bathroom that will be obviously simple and something that we can show to everybody and make sure that everybody will understand how to obviously deal with the bathroom from start to finish. A very good practice will be when you're installing these tiles obviously over the floor tiles. You should never put your tile, your wall tile, straight on the floor tile. You should ever, I mean, you should always leave around 2 millimeters. So just put a 2 millimeter packer or a wedge or something, and leave a 2 millimeter space. This way obviously the tiles and the floor and everything will have even the walls, everything will have room to obviously move in case they've need for expansion and contraction. Plus your silicone will obviously be a lot more better if it has 2 millimeter of gap where it can actually go and sit. Imagine if you just run the silicone on the surface of these two tiles that are very they are very like smooth. The silicone won't be sticking as good as if you have obviously a gap in between those tiles. On this right hand side wall, where we only have one tile, so we're not going all the way to the ceiling, we are going to use this chrome trim. Basically it's an aluminium trim, but it's chrome. So we are going to use the same trim for the plinth, because on the other side where we're only having wallpaper, we're just gonna have a tile plinth. As you can see on these images, we are using a suction cup to hold these tiles a little bit better. Basically it does give you a bit more control of how you're lifting the tile and how you're placing the tiles without touching the corners and obviously chip the corners. This is like a basic suction cup. We are thinking in future, if we are going to use these big tiles quite a lot, we are thinking of buying a proper suction cup for tiling, the one with the battery that you can obviously just use the button, and because they are much more reliable and you can really rely on them. You can just hold the tile with one hand without fearing that the tiles are going to obviously come loose. Also, we are using these leveling clips, and no matter what other people will say, I think they are a must for big tiles. Okay, so we did the right hand side, and you can see how we managed to match these tiles. Same in here. I think we did a pretty decent job. Yeah, obviously we do have a lot of tiles that are looking the same, but like I said, we'll try to do the best we can with these tiles. Obviously it might be in some places that obviously you can't match the pattern, but wherever we can, we will try to obviously match this pattern. You can see in the shower as well. Personal, I think we did a very good job in lining the pattern and carrying on these veins from one tile to the other. In some places, even obviously coming from the floor, going up on the walls. Obviously, depending of what tiles, depending of the quality, the price, some of the pattern will much better than other. Basically, what we're trying to do and what we're trying to accomplish is have a pattern installed wherever is more visible, and then if somewhere doesn't match, we'll put that wherever is obviously not that obvious. Okay, so this is pretty much the tiling done. We did the plinth, we did everything. So now we're just gonna show you how the tiling is looking like, and all we have to do is obviously to install the shower and the plates and the heads and everything, and that will be for this video, because all we had to obviously do is to install the wallpaper, but we didn't have it at the time, so we're just gonna show you how we actually finish off the shower. Okay, so now it's time to close the access panel on the other bathroom. We're using the same suction cup. We are going to place the tile back. You see we have some backers on the frame. This is just obviously to keep the same distance, to have the tiles nice and flush, and we're just gonna run a bit of silicone, the same color as the grout, and we'll let it dry, and then that's it. So obviously this silicone will have to be just in between the tiles, and it doesn't have to be over the tiles. And in this case you won't see the difference between this silicone and the grout, and if you don't know that the panel is there, you will never find out. Okay, so now we are going to install the shower mixer plate. First of all, I will just put it in the position, make sure it fits, make sure that everything is right, and then you'll see me applying a bit of silicone on the back. So I will do the sides and the top, I won't do the bottom. In this case our plate was a bit beveled, so I have to put a bit more silicone, but basically you don't need to do a lot. You have to do as much as needed in order to push this plate in and have this silicone all around, so there's no any water going in behind the plate and the tile. We have used normal clear silicone for obviously for bathrooms. Don't use anything that is like very strong, like CT1 or stick, like anything like that. Just use normal sanitary silicone in clear, because maybe there will be a time where you will have to remove this plate in order to uh, change the cartridges or anything like that. So this is why we are not putting anything at the bottom, because it's not needed. And in case that we need to remove this plate, we're just gonna stick a, a sharp blade, like a standing knife blade, in there and cut the silicone all around and remove the plate. That should never be needed, but just in case you have to obviously take that plate off, make sure you can obviously do it. But if you try to put something that is very strong adhesive, you might have a problem doing that. Double checking, make sure that everything is nice and level, because obviously the shower mixer is something that you will see straight away when you walk into the shower. Okay, so all we have left now is to do the controllers that obviously will turn the handheld shower or the head shower, and also the temperature control. After all that is complete, we just have to silicone all the bathroom. So basically all the corners will have to be siliconed with color silicone. So we're going to use the same color as the grout, and make sure there are no corners, especially the ones that will get in contact with water, left with just the grout, because they will crack and you will have water ingress. So this is how the bathroom looks complete. Well, nearly complete. We just have to do the wallpaper when we get that. But that will be for this bathroom. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you found it very interesting. And please like and subscribe if you like the video. And we'll see you next time with another video.